Woo! Greetings and salutations. Ladies and gentlemen, hashtag live if you're watching live, hashtag replay if you are on replay. So, made this post the other day. I had some questions, so I felt like what better way to answer them than by doing a video, right? So, as it comes to change, that big scary word that we're all like, I don't want to change, right? You want to change, but you don't want to change. So there's two requirements when it comes to change. No matter what it is, no matter how big or small it is, you have to have these two things. And the first one is acknowledgement, and being able to acknowledge the fact that something needs to change. Now, the change here and the definition of change really is dependent upon your personal definition. But as it relates to, if you're wanting to lose weight, or if you're not happy in a relationship, or you know that internally something within you needs to change, right? So you have to be able to acknowledge that. And I think that's a big step. That's that part about self-awareness that I talk about a lot is, you're reaching a certain level in life. I hate this. Life's not a damn video game, but we're just going to use the word for lack of a better term. You're reaching a different level when you know that, something needs to change. It's like push or shove, right? You're pushed in the corner. Something just doesn't feel right. You're not in a happy space. What you're doing isn't releasing joy inside of you, etc., right? I think we've all been there in different situations in life, whether it be a job, whether it be with your body, whether that be with a relationship, whether that be where you live, or whatever the case may be. But having that acknowledgement to be able to be self-aware enough to know that certain things in your life have to be different in order for you to fully reach that peak of best version of yourself. Because that's why we're all here, right? To find who we truly are and what we truly love doing. And just do that until the time's up. The second thing that you really need here is acceptance. And this one can be difficult because, being able to accept yourself as you are right now in this incarnation as I'm talking can be difficult because there's always the past. There's always that... it's kind of like a little bit of an addiction sometimes. It's like, oh man, if I could just get in that time machine, I could go back and do something different. I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in. Or if I could just go back in the past and not, gain that 25 pounds during quarantine, I would do that, right? Well, it's like a mistress, right? There's no positive outcome that can come from going back there. Yeah, you can learn from things, that's great, but as it relates to what you're going to do moving forward, you got to leave that back there. So you have to accept yourself as you are, and that's truly one of the most difficult things for people. And what I find in coaching people is, it's so easy to go back here and just like, man, I just wish I could change that, or I wish I could do something different, or I wish that didn't happen, this circumstance. And it's like playing with the devil because nothing positive is going to come from that. The only positive nature that can come from anything is acceptance. And there's a difference between settling for something and accepting it. Settling means it's just going to be what it is, and it doesn't matter what you do moving forward, boom, right? You've settled for it. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to do shit about it, right? But acceptance means, I accept this about myself. I accept this situation as it is. What happened, happened. Couldn't happen any other way because it didn't. And this, I know what I need to do moving forward. Or I know that I need to reach out for help, for coaching or whatever, to get me through this situation so that I can come out better on the other end. I think that's super, super, super impressive when people can do that, when they can really acknowledge a problem and then they can accept it, no matter what it is, no matter what that problem is, or whatever that programming is, or however you want to define it, to be able to accept it. And I challenge you that these two things are really what are necessary in the beginning for you to make this giant climb to being the best version of yourself. Acknowledgement and acceptance. Most people don't do this. That's why the 12 steps for alcohol and drugs is the first step is to acknowledge you got a problem, right? Well, in order for you to be able to change and move anything, you've got to acknowledge that something exists that you don't want to exist, or a situation or a feeling about something. And then from there, you've got to accept it as it is, because it's not going to change until you do, or until you change something about it. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. And unfortunately, a lot of people run robotically every day doing the same thing over and over and over again, wishing that it would change, and it doesn't. And you end up hitting your head up against a brick wall, and you never elicit full change. And it can be scary, but it can be worth it. So you have to ask yourself, are you ready and willing to make the necessary things, changes, alterations to your life to be that best version of you? Because we need people who are becoming the best version of them. The world needs more of that. So as you go off into the universe and you evaluate what I'm saying here today, if something struck a chord with you or something you want to know more about, absolutely direct message me. If you want to know more about what I do in a coaching world, absolutely reach out to me. But hope everybody has a happy and a healthy day. Buff Gandhi, #value found value.